everyone. So today we are continuing to work in the van. It's a great day for it. I'll be doing it most of the day. Where we left off yesterday, or I guess the last time we worked, was we finished installing the insulation, and then I cut the quarter-inch wood panels that will actually get mounted and installed here. Kind of the it's going to be our sub wall, and that looks great. But in order to attach it to the wall, you have to have places to physically attach it to. I really don't want to take metal screws and screw it into the sheet metal. Over time, that's said to rust. You have exposed bare metal and shavings. So we want to avoid that. So one way to avoid that is using one of two things, either rivnuts, which are pretty common, the really popular method in industrial appliance. But the thing that's popular for people that build vans are these things called crossnuts. I've talked about these a bunch before. They are a little bit longer than rivnuts. This is a crossnut. And it's threaded on the inside. It's got little things there. Rivnuts are about half the size. I have a few over there. I might bring one over in a minute. The only issue with these is they're a pain to install because there's not really a great tool that you can buy easily, like on Amazon, to install them. At least not with that modification. So what you can do though is you can grab a series of tools, and you essentially take a bolt and you put it in there. You put that through, then you put another bolt here, then you tighten that bolt down, and that pushes this bolt while holding this. That pushes this bolt out away from you, and which causes the crossnut to shrink and rivet itself in. And this is kind of what it'll look like when we install all the panels. These are the layers here. So on the facing, like on the outside, this is what it'll look like. It'll just be a bolt with a washer. Then you have your wood. And then on the back, you'll have another washer. And then the top of the outside is the crossnut. And then this inner washer represents the metal of the van. And then the back side is going to be exposed bolt and the crossnut. So that's kind of the idea. I might throw a nylon washer in between, depending on if this ends up squeaking or not. I don't think it will. It feels really solid. It's not moving. It shouldn't squeak at all. What might squeak, or what might happen though, is if there's a lot of space between two of these, the wood panel might bounce around. So we might have to add something in between there. But anyway, so it had been such a pain to install these crossnuts. What happens if you do it the way I was talking about a second ago? If you start screwing these in, this bolt gets, the threads get all messed up, because you're essentially screwing two things counter, and so there's a lot of pressure on the threads. So over time the threads get all jacked up. So I didn't really like doing it that way. I did 25 of them that way, and it took forever, and your hands hurt because you had to constantly be turning it, torquing it down. So I caved, and I bought this tool, and this tool is it's called a tack light, or tack life, and it's meant to install rivnuts, which are the smaller ones. Well, the issue with this tool when installing crossnuts is the head of this tool sits only up to about here. So I made a modification to this tool. I added one of these, I can't remember what these nuts are called, but it's essentially, it allows you to extend it. And then I cut the bolt head off of a normal, like a carriage bolt. Cut the carriage bolt head off and installed my own bolt here. You can see. And by doing that, that allows me, that gives me a little bit more length. The struggle with doing that is the rivnut needs to be pushed right up against a really sturdy flat surface. So I found this perfect length 18mm socket, which just acts as kind of like a spacer. Drop that in there, and then drop a washer on top of that. And now you have something where the bolt can go up and down while keeping the bolt can go up and down while keeping this is the new base, right, for the nut, or the crossnut. The crossnut will go in. Crossnut will go in all the way. You get the idea. You cinch it down, and and that'll tighten it. And then you screw it in a little bit more, tighten it down, screw it in a little bit more, tighten it down. And that process has worked really well. Way better than the hand tightening way. I can't stand that way. So I'll post an article probably about this on You Me in the Parks or YouMeInTheJeep.com. They're both the same site. This is definitely the best way to go. It also creates, I feel like, a stronger, like when you cinch it down, the bolt feel like there's no messing up. It's not. It just feels proper. So I'm gonna continue on. I got maybe 20 more to go. Maybe a few more than that. And then we'll call it a day for the I'll grab lunch. When I come back out, I'll probably try and install the panels. One concern I have with installing the panels is I don't know how I'm going to figure out where exactly these bolts are to drill a pilot hole or a hole into so I can attach the bolt. But someone recommended a hanger bolt. Far Out Ride, I think, is the website I was reading with the hanger bolt. The hanger bolt sticks out, an inch or so. So when you're putting the panel up, it's not going to be perfect because it's on a slant. So it won't be exactly where you want it. But I guess it might be the closest thing. Also, I would need a fair number of them. So I don't know. It's might just do one, and then try and align the others as best as I can from off of that one. But we'll see. We'll see. All right, I'm going to carry on. I'll show you how to use this too. I'll go through one. Let's see. Yeah, there's one over here. Should be okay right here. Yep. All right. So these are there's one already installed right here, just like put into the standard hole that's open. So you take your tool. Let me scoot you up a little bit. Better. Take the tool, and it's got this handy handle, which actually twists the bolt at the end. So you just stick this up here, push it in, and then that threaded half of it, and you gotta spin it out a little bit. Thread it again, and maybe one more time. Nope, that's good. All right. And then now that it's set in there, just squeeze it down the first time, and you can feel it. You can feel that bolt compressing. Open it back up, tighten it, do it again, a little bit more, open it up, tighten it one more time, and now I'll feel a fair bit of resistance. That's good, that means it's set. And then open it up again, and now just pull it out. And you gotta pull it out 3 times before it opens. So you gotta spin it, pull. That's it. That was me installing a CrossNut. It's that easy. And it saves your hands. So that's the way to go. Alright, I'm just going to get to work now. Let me ramble. Also, this way is probably 4 or 5 times faster. I can do one of these in like 30 seconds. The other ones took me like 5 minutes to do. The downside, it's a $60, $70 tool. And then you need to modify it on top of that. It's maybe $4 worth of hardware on top of that. So yeah, you spend a little bit more, but it seats the CrossNut really nice and saves your hands. So valuable. great about these crossnuts is the force that they can withstand. Like the pull-out force is really, really high. It's really good. And so because of that, I'm going to have the cabinets and everything bolted pretty much to those directly. Or it'll be, I guess, the crossnut 80-20 and then bolting two pieces of 80-20 together. But same idea. So good. I have some awkwardly hard places to get to as well. I couldn't imagine standing up there and trying to crank that with because you're holding like 2 wrenches and a handle. It just gets really annoying. You can feel afterwards the bolt's hot because of the friction, and it's just like you could add oil, but it's just not the right to do it. So I should also say I'm using 1/4 inch everything. So it's 1/4 inch bolt, 1/4 inch crossnut. The tool that's on here is 1/4 inch. Everything's 1/4 inch. They fit the 1/4 inch crossnuts fit native like directly into the bolts. If you get the pre-bolt ones, the ones that are slightly like my crossnuts are like pre-bolt, meaning it helps with that initial strength to winch it down. Then you have to kind of hit it in with like a mallet. But it's not that bad. You can hit it in with your hand. It just sucks. So it's not like bending the metal or anything. Still makes your arms tingle. I don't think you're getting away from that. Yeah, like if I look at the ones I did by hand and the ones I'm doing with the tool, the one with the tool is a lot flusher, a lot more flush with the metal. The ones with the tool, like at the end, they're slightly offset, and it's fine. It's not like it's an issue. It's just because of $60. I don't know. That's a lot of money, but it's a van. You're building a van. You're building a house. 15 left. I think I need around 22 more. Which is really annoying because it comes in packs of like 100. They're also not that cheap. They're like $100. They're like $1 each. No, I guess they're like $60 for a so still not cheap. All right, cool. You have two more to do, but you get the idea of how it works. So I'll be back on later. I'll probably install some just good old regular rivnuts if I run out of crossnuts. I don't think it's going to be worth waiting for, because they take like a week and a half to ship and to get here and stuff like that. So I want to get the walls up. So I'll probably put crossnuts everywhere I can for structural, and then rivnuts where I think it's just to fill in. got an idea of how to use crossnuts, rivnuts, and stuff like that?